I did have a chance to ask the Duchess about the Ryan Mansion. That is where they stayed, and that's there in Rawlins Cross, owned by Nolan Hall. And of course, they're very well known as being developers in St. John's and taking older buildings and refurbishing them and turning them really into lovely, lovely properties. So apparently this is what happened, that sometime last summer or last spring, the royal handlers were looking for a place for the royal couple to stay. They scouted it out, and the Duchess and the Prince chose the Ryan Mansion. And Kevin Nolan and Robert Hall actually allowed us to go down there and get some shots and let you see where the royal staged. So we're now going to show you that piece.
This is the Ryan Mansion, located at Rawlins Cross. Constructed in the early 1900s by James and Dan Ryan, wealthy fish merchants who operated mainly out of Bonavista. When plans were being made for the royal visit, the royal couple actually selected this inn as the place where they wanted to stay. Inside you will find, well, accommodations fit for a future king. This is the dining room with its original fireplace. The royal couple ate their meals here. Everything was planned well in advance. Months of consultation with Clarence House in London. Every detail of the menus had to be approved by the royal staff. Charles and Camilla requesting local, fresh, and organic food whenever possible. Relaxation time could be spent here in the living room with its grand piano. And when the prince wanted to get in a little paperwork, this is where he did it. He actually sat at this desk and met with his staff. As a matter of fact, all the royal couple staff members stayed here during the visit, 14 of them in total. The only thing the owners, Nolan Hall, didn't want us to show was the bedroom where the royal couple slept. We can tell you that it is very similar to the other bedrooms. All are beautifully furnished, have private bathrooms, some with solid granite tubs, down duvets and sitting areas, and of course a fireplace. Robert Hall and Kevin Nolan know that hosting royalty is a tremendous undertaking, but after months of work, it all paid off. They actually have something in common with the prince, their preservation of heritage buildings. They felt the royal couple appreciated their work, and then there was the endorsement from the Duchess. She gave them 10 out of 10.
That means the world to us. I mean, you know, I think in preparation for their arrival, I mean, you know, you understand that these people live in palaces. They stay in the best places around the world. So that always sort of, you know, that was always in the back of our mind as we were preparing for their arrival. Then to get that type of endorsement, you know, following their stay, I don't know if anything can top it. I mean, you know, we will try.
A royal compliment is worth a lot to a small local company. Of course, the prince and the duchess left a gift, a photograph, and their signatures in the Ryan Mansion guest book. All the royal staff were complimentary. One wrote it was the best sleep he had in more than 40 years. We haven't yet shown you in detail what is the centerpiece of this inn, the staircase. James Ryan was a wealthy man and wanted the best. And the best, back in 1909, would be a staircase made by the builder of the staircase on the Titanic.
And the staircase comes with a great history. I mean, it's the house itself was built in 1909, well, during the period of 1909 to 1911, which are the exact same 2 years the Titanic was built. James Ryan, of course, who of course knew the sort of the magnificence of the Titanic and what it was going to be. That it was supposed to be the best, you know, the most luxurious liner in the world. Decided that he should also have the most luxurious, I guess, staircase in the world. So he basically
commissioned the builder.
Commissioned exactly the same builder to sort of fit the staircase for this particular house.
And it's spectacular.
And this is what we have today. Yeah, and it remains again completely unchanged from its original sort of installation. So. And what was really neat, too, is that in just 2 years ago, I guess in our first year, Bob Ballard, Dr. Bob Ballard, who's the man who discovered the wreck type thing, he came here to sort of, you know, celebrate the staircase, and as well as have one of our sort of Titanic dinners, so which was a lot of fun.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very impressive.
Gorgeous home.
And you had exclusive access.
We did, and of course I did a profile of Nolan Hall some years ago on a 1-hour special closer look that aired a few years ago. And as we mentioned earlier, of course, they are well known in St. John's for purchasing older properties and refurbishing them. And when the Duchess and the Prince left, they asked if they had a portfolio of their work, and they didn't. But they did have a DVD copy of the profile I did. So the Duchess and the Prince have gone back to Clarence House with a copy of A Closer Look, and they're going to have a look at the work of Nolan Hall.
Perhaps other members of the royal family?
Who knows?
Come and stay.
Yeah, but they did a wonderful job. It's a beautiful home.
It is.
And and good for them. I mean, I think this is the only time during the royal visit that they actually stayed in a local inn or hotel.
Something privately
That's right.
owned. Normally it's the top floor of the Newfoundland Hotel up before.
Yeah.
Or if a royal boat was in the harbour, they'd stay on board that, or Government House.
Yep. But even across Canada, they stayed either with the former, I believe it was the former Lieutenant Governor of Ontario, and with the
Again,
Governor
part
General.
of the PR to get them out there.
That's right.
More in the public.
Yeah. And Prince Charles, of course, is very fond of the work that people like Nolan Hall
Well known
do.
for it.
Well, we're going to take another break, but please stay with us. When we come back, the Prince in Cupids.